Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're tackling a super common problem. Your semi-automatic washing machine's dryer just isn't working. You've got a pile of wet clothes and no way to spin them dry. Don't call a repairman just yet. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a complete, step-by-step guide to diagnose and fix the issue yourself. We'll cover everything from the simplest power problems to more complex mechanical faults. By the end of this, you'll have the confidence and knowledge to get that spinner running again. So, grab your tools and let's get started. First things first, let's start with the basics. The power supply. Sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how often this is the culprit. Before you open up anything, make sure the washing machine's power cord is firmly plugged into the wall socket. Sometimes it can get loose. Next, check the socket itself. Plug in another small appliance like a phone charger or a lamp to see if it gets power. If it doesn't, the problem is with your home's electrical system, not the machine. Check your circuit breaker or fuse box to see if a switch is tripped. If the outlet is working, inspect the washing machine's power cord for any visible damage, like cuts, frays, or burn marks. A damaged cord is a safety hazard and needs to be replaced immediately. Okay, so the power supply is fine. The next thing to check is the spin timer. The spin timer is the knob you turn to set how long you want the dryer to run. It's essentially a switch that controls the power to the spin motor. If this timer is faulty, the motor will never get the signal to start. To check it, turn the timer knob. Do you hear a distinct clicking or mechanical winding sound? If it's completely silent or feels loose and offers no resistance, the timer mechanism might be broken internally. Also, listen closely when you turn it. When it reaches the end of its cycle, it should make a sound, like a bell or a final click, as it turns off. If it doesn't do this, or if it gets stuck, that's another sign it's faulty. Replacing a spin timer is usually a straightforward job that we'll cover in a bit. Let's move on to the door, or more accurately, the lid safety switch. This is a crucial safety feature designed to stop the spin drum from rotating when the lid is open. If this switch is broken or misaligned, the machine will think the lid is always open, and it will refuse to start the spin cycle. To find it, open the spin tub lid and look for a small pin or lever on the lid that presses down on a switch inside the machine's body when closed. First, check for any physical damage. Is the pin on the lid broken? Is the switch itself stuck? Press the switch manually with a non-conductive tool like a plastic pen while the timer is set. If the motor starts, you found your problem. The lid isn't pressing the switch correctly. You might just need to adjust the lid or the switch's position. If it still doesn't start, the switch itself might have failed electrically. If the timer and the lid switch seem to be working, our next suspect is the spin motor's brake system. When you open the lid, a brake is applied to the spin drum to stop it quickly. This is often a simple mechanical system, a brake wire or cable connected from the lid hinge to a brake shoe near the motor. If this brake is stuck in the on position, the motor won't be able to turn the drum. Close the lid and try to spin the drum by hand. It should spin with some resistance, but it shouldn't be completely locked. If it's stuck solid, the brake is likely engaged. Open the back panel of the machine and locate the brake mechanism. You'll see a cable that tightens and loosens as you open and close the lid. Check if this cable is snapped, stuck, or has come off its path. Sometimes, just reattaching or lubricating this cable can solve the entire problem. So, we've checked the external controls and safety features. Now, it's time to dig a little deeper, which means we need to open up the back panel of the washing machine. But before you do this, please, for your safety, unplug the machine from the power outlet completely. Once it's unplugged, find the screws holding the back panel in place and remove them. Carefully take off the panel and set it aside. Now you have access to the heart of the spin system, the motor, the belt, the capacitor, and all the wiring. For the next steps, we'll be examining each of these components one by one. With the back panel off, the first thing to inspect is the drive belt. The spin motor turns a belt, which in turn spins the drum. If this belt is broken, loose, or has slipped off the pulleys, the motor might be running just fine, but the drum won't move at all. Look for the belt that connects the motor pulley to the large pulley on the base of the spin drum. Is it there? Is it tight? A properly tensioned belt should have about a ½ inch of play when you press on it. If it's very loose, it will slip. If it's missing or snapped in two, you'll need a new one. Replacing a belt is a common repair. You just need to loop the new belt over the small motor pulley first, and then carefully work it onto the larger drum pulley. rotating the drum by hand to help guide it on. If the belt is okay, let's check the spin motor itself. A common reason for a motor not starting is a faulty start capacitor. The capacitor gives the motor an extra electrical kick to get it started. It's usually a small cylindrical component wired to the motor. The first thing to look for is physical damage. Is the capacitor bulging, leaking any oily substance, or does it have burn marks? If you see any of these signs, the capacitor is definitely bad and needs to be replaced. Be very careful here. Even with the machine unplugged, a capacitor can hold an electrical charge. Before touching it, you should safely discharge it. You can do this by shorting the two terminals with an insulated screwdriver. When you buy a replacement, make sure it has the same microfarad and voltage ratings as the old one. What if the capacitor looks fine? The motor itself could have failed. This can happen due to overheating, water damage, or just old age. One way to check is the hum test. Set the spin timer, and with the lid closed, listen closely to the motor. If you hear a low humming or buzzing sound, but the motor isn't turning, it's receiving power but is unable to start. This could be due to a bad capacitor, as we just discussed, or the motor's internal windings could be burnt out, or its bearings could be seized. Try giving the spin drum a gentle push by hand in the direction it normally spins. If this helps the motor start and run, it's a very strong sign that the start capacitor is weak and needs replacement. If it still just hums and refuses to turn, the motor itself is likely the problem. Let's talk about how to replace some of these parts. Let's start with the spin timer. After unplugging the machine, you'll need to remove the top control panel. This is usually held on by a few screws, sometimes hidden under the knobs themselves. Once the panel is loose, you can access the back of the timer. Take a photo of the wire connections before you disconnect anything. This is your map for putting it all back together. Timers are typically held in place by a couple of screws. Screw the old one, put the new one in its place, and carefully reconnect the wires exactly as they were in your photo. Then reassemble the control panel. It's a simple swap, but getting the wiring right is critical. Replacing the lid safety switch is also quite manageable. With the machine unplugged, you'll usually find the switch located near the top of the machine. Right under where the lids pin makes contact, it will have two wires connected to it. Again, take a picture of the connections. Disconnect the wires. The switch itself might be held by a screw or a plastic clip. Remove it, install the new switch, and reconnect the wires. Before you put everything back together, you can do a quick test. With the new switch installed, manually press it with a plastic tool while the timer's on. If the motor runs, you've successfully fixed it. Then, you can close up the machine, confident in your repair. Finally, if you've determined the motor or the capacitor is the issue, here's the general process. We already covered how to safely discharge and replace a capacitor. It's a simple swap. Motor replacement is a bigger job. You'll need to remove the drive belt first. Then, the motor is typically bolted to the base of the machine with 3 or 4 bolts. You'll need to unbolt it and carefully disconnect its wiring harness. Again, a photo of the wiring is your best friend here. Once the old motor is out, you can bolt the new one in its place. Reconnect the wiring, and then reinstall the drive belt, making sure it's properly tensioned. This is a more advanced repair, but it's definitely doable for a determined DIYer. So there you have it, a complete guide to fixing your semi-automatic washing machine's dryer. We've gone from the simplest power check to replacing the motor itself. Remember, always prioritize your safety. Unplug the machine before you open it up, and take photos of wiring before you disconnect anything. Most of the time, the problem is something simple like a lid switch or a timer. By following these steps, you can save yourself a lot of money and the hassle of waiting for a repair service. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more DIY repair guides. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.